The cool night air of Porto, Portugal, on May 29, 2021, carried the electric hum of anticipation. Inside Estádio do Dragão, a cauldron of noise and expectation, 22 figures stood poised, their gazes fixed on a singular prize: the UEFA Champions League trophy. Among them, a man of 36, his face etched with years of battles, triumphs, and quiet resilience, prepared for the greatest club match of his extraordinary career. This was not the story of a meteoric rise, but of a winding, arduous journey, marked by profound challenges and a steadfast refusal to yield. For Thiago Silva, the moment was not just about the final. It was a culmination, a defiant statement against the odds that had once threatened to extinguish his dream entirely. The very presence of this seasoned defender on such a grand stage was a testament to an indomitable spirit. Football, a sport often defined by fleeting youth and explosive talent, rarely witnesses such a late career zenith. Yet here he was, a central pillar in a formidable defense, embodying a rare blend of tactical brilliance, unwavering composure, and an almost paternal leadership. He was not merely playing, he was orchestrating, guiding, and at times single-handedly holding the line against the relentless tide of an opponent's attack. His every movement, every interception, every perfectly timed tackle spoke of a deep understanding of the game, honed through years of meticulous dedication and an almost obsessive pursuit of defensive perfection. This was the man who would become known universally as the Brazilian Wall. But before the impenetrable fortress, before the accolades and the global recognition, there was a raw, vulnerable beginning. There was a young man facing not just the usual struggles of aspiring athletes, but a profound, life-threatening health crisis that would have shattered lesser individuals. His story is not just about the glory of European football, but about the invisible battles fought far from the roar of the crowd, the quiet determination to reclaim a life and a career that seemed irrevocably lost. It is a narrative of reinvention, a testament to the power of human will in the face of overwhelming adversity. The journey from the sun-drenched, bustling streets of Rio de Janeiro to the hallowed grounds of Europe's elite stadiums was anything but linear. It was a path riddled with uncertainty, moments of despair, and critical decisions that would ultimately define his destiny. His eventual emergence as a defensive titan, a reference point for defenders worldwide, was forged in the crucible of these early trials, transforming a promising talent into a symbol of longevity and unyielding quality. The final in Porto, under the glare of millions, represented not just a game, but a profound vindication, a powerful declaration of enduring class in a sport that relentlessly pushes its heroes towards the margins. His story resonates because it is a universal tale of overcoming the seemingly insurmountable, of finding strength in vulnerability, and of achieving an improbable triumph against the relentless march of time and circumstance. This was the stage, set for a man who had already defied fate, now reaching for the ultimate prize. The pulsating heart of Rio de Janeiro, specifically the sprawling, vibrant neighborhood of Santa Cruz, provided the initial canvas for Thiago Emiliano da Silva's remarkable life. Here, amidst the tightly packed homes and the rhythmic cadence of daily existence, a future defensive maestro began to absorb the intricate lessons of his surroundings. His family, anchored by his steadfast mother, Angela, and quiet father, Geraldo, navigated the realities of a working-class existence, instilling values of perseverance and mutual support that would become bedrock principles. This was not a world of opulent training grounds or structured academies from birth, but one where the very fabric of community and the exigencies of life served as a foundational education. Indeed, the informal football pitches of the favela, often uneven stretches of dirt or patchy grass, became his earliest classrooms. Imagine the young Thiago, a slender figure, learning to control a ball that bounced unpredictably, to anticipate an opponent's move in tight, confined spaces, and to protect his rudimentary goal with an almost primal instinct. These were not mere games. They were intensely competitive skirmishes where quick thinking, spatial awareness, and a deep understanding of collective effort were paramount. This crucible of street football, far removed from the polished surfaces of professional stadiums, inadvertently honed the very attributes that would later define his elite defensive prowess: an uncanny ability to read the game, a precise sense of positioning, and an unyielding tenacity in duels. Furthermore, the social landscape of his youth profoundly shaped his character. Football in Brazil, particularly in communities like Santa Cruz, transcended mere sport. It represented a tangible pathway out of economic hardship, a beacon of hope for countless aspiring talents. Young Thiago witnessed firsthand the transformative power of the game, fostering within him not just a passion, but a profound sense of purpose. This burgeoning ambition was not solely for personal glory, but deeply intertwined with a desire to uplift his family, to provide opportunities that had been scarce. This early understanding of responsibility, coupled with the communal spirit inherent in his upbringing, cultivated a quiet resolve that would later translate into an unparalleled sense of duty on the pitch. His mother, Angela, played an especially pivotal role during these formative years. She was a constant source of encouragement, yet also the unwavering embodiment of discipline. It was through her guidance that a young, impressionable Thiago learned the importance of consistency, the value of hard work even when immediate rewards were unseen, and the necessity of humility. Her practical wisdom provided a crucial counterpoint to the often chaotic energy of his environment, grounding him in principles of integrity and respect. This domestic influence was subtly profound, cultivating an internal compass that would guide him through the inevitable challenges and temptations that lay ahead in a demanding professional career. Consequently, as he progressed through local youth teams, often traveling considerable distances for training and matches, the lessons absorbed from his home and the streets became his invisible armor. The raw talent was undeniable, but it was the steely determination, the innate understanding of collective defense born from improvised games, and the deep-seated work ethic instilled by his family that set him apart. He was not merely learning the mechanics of defending. He was internalizing the very essence of protection, of guarding a space, a goal, a dream. This foundational period, marked by its modest circumstances and rich human connections, laid the groundwork for a career defined by enduring quality, demonstrating how the most challenging beginnings can often forge the most resilient spirits. The path from promising youth talent to professional footballer is often fraught with unseen obstacles. Yet for Thiago Silva, the initial steps into the demanding world of senior football presented a unique set of immediate, humbling realities. His early engagements, first at RS Futebol and then with Juventude in the southern reaches of Brazil, were marked less by fanfare and more by the stark economic landscape of emerging athletes. These were periods of intense personal sacrifice, where the meager stipends barely covered basic necessities, demanding an unwavering commitment that stretched beyond the physical rigors of training. The young defender faced not just the tactical challenges on the pitch, but the ever-present pressure of proving his worth, knowing that each performance was a precarious audition for a future that remained tantalizingly out of reach. This early exposure to the harsh professional environment, far from the familiar comforts of his upbringing, served as an unforgiving crucible, forging a deeper resolve. A pivotal, yet profoundly challenging juncture arrived with his transfer to Dynamo Moscow in 2005. This move, representing his first foray into European football, promised a significant leap forward, a gateway to the continent's elite leagues. However, what began as an exciting new chapter quickly devolved into a harrowing ordeal. Shortly after arriving in Russia, a persistent cough and debilitating fatigue, initially dismissed as common ailments, worsened dramatically. The diagnosis, when it finally came after months of misinterpretation and deteriorating health, was devastating. tuberculosis. This was not merely an illness, it was a life-threatening condition that, in an instant, eclipsed all professional ambitions. The subsequent 6 months were a period of intense isolation and profound uncertainty. Confined to a hospital room, far from his family and the familiar rhythms of football, Silva confronted a stark reality. The aggressive treatment, involving potent medication, brought its own array of debilitating side effects, further weakening his already fragile body. The vibrant energy that had once defined him was replaced by a pervasive weariness, and the once clear vision of a flourishing career became obscured by the grim prospect of forced retirement. He faced not just a physical battle against the disease, but a profound psychological one against despair. The very notion of returning to the pitch, let alone competing at an elite level, seemed an impossible dream, a cruel fantasy that mocked his current immobility. His spirit, however, though battered, remained unbroken. During this enforced hiatus, a deep introspection took hold. He reflected on the sacrifices made, the dreams nurtured since childhood, and the sheer audacity of giving up. It was a period of grim determination, a quiet, internal resolve to defy the medical pronouncements and the encroaching shadow of a life unfulfilled. A lifeline emerged when Fluminense, a club with a rich history in Rio, extended an unexpected opportunity. They offered him a chance to return to Brazil, to recover, and to attempt a return to professional football, a gesture of faith that proved instrumental in his eventual resurgence. The journey back to fitness was arduous, a testament to his sheer tenacity. It involved months of meticulous physical rehabilitation, slowly rebuilding strength and stamina that had been severely depleted. Each step, each training session, was a deliberate act of defiance against the lingering effects of the illness. His return to Fluminense was, in essence, a rebirth. He joined a club willing to patiently nurture his recovery, allowing him the space and time to regain his rhythm and confidence. This period became more than just a physical recuperation. It was a profound psychological transformation. The experience of confronting mortality imbued him with an unparalleled appreciation for every moment on the field, a heightened sense of purpose that would come to define his play. He emerged from this crucible not merely as a recovered athlete, but as a more resilient, more focused, and ultimately, a more formidable competitor, ready to forge a legacy that transcended mere talent. Having navigated the profound personal and physical trials of his recovery, the defender's return to Fluminense marked a dramatic turning point, transforming a precarious second chance into an undeniable ascent. He did not merely recover, he blossomed into a defensive anchor, a figure of increasing authority within the team. His performances on the pitch for the Rio de Janeiro club transcended mere competence, displaying an almost uncanny ability to read the intricate patterns of play, anticipating danger before it fully materialized. He developed a reputation for precise tackling, often dispossessing opponents with surgical accuracy rather than brute force, a hallmark of his refined technique. This period was characterized by his burgeoning influence as a leader, a natural consequence of his composure under pressure and his consistent excellence. While still relatively young for a central defender, his quiet demeanor belied an innate capacity to organize the defensive line, communicating with gestures and subtle shifts in positioning that brought cohesion to the back four. He became the calm eye in the storm of Brazilian football, guiding his teammates through intense domestic and continental campaigns. The 2007 Copa do Brasil final, though ultimately a defeat, showcased his burgeoning stature, as did the epic run to the 2008 Copa Libertadores final, where Fluminense captivated the nation with their spirited performances, a journey he personally anchored with unwavering defensive solidity. His consistent commanding displays inevitably drew the keen attention of European scouts, who meticulously observed his every move. They recognized not just raw talent, but a rare combination of speed, aerial prowess, and sophisticated tactical intelligence. He possessed the physical attributes to compete at the highest level, yet it was his mental fortitude, forged in the crucible of his past health crisis, that truly set him apart. He was perceived as a player who understood the geometry of the pitch, capable of making the right decision under immense pressure, a quality highly coveted in the tactically demanding European leagues. The opportunity to test himself on the continent's grandest stage arrived in 2009 with a transfer to AC Milan, one of Italy's most storied clubs. This move represented a significant leap, a direct entry into a league renowned for its defensive rigor and tactical sophistication. Adapting to Serie A presented its own distinct challenges. The pace of play was different, the emphasis on positional discipline was absolute, and the quality of opposing forwards was consistently world-class. However, Silva approached this transition with the same meticulous dedication that had characterized his recovery. He absorbed the nuances of Italian defending, learning from seasoned veterans and quickly integrating himself into the club's defensive philosophy. Within a remarkably short span, he solidified his position as a first-choice center-back, forming an increasingly formidable partnership with veteran defenders. His ability to anticipate passes, intercept through balls, and engage in one-on-one duels with unmatched precision became a constant source of frustration for opposition attackers. He demonstrated an impressive capacity to adapt his game seamlessly, transitioning between various defensive schemes and excelling whether playing in a high line or a deeper block. His performances were not merely about preventing goals. They were about dictating the flow of the game from the back, initiating attacks with intelligent distribution, and maintaining a palpable sense of calm across the entire team. The culmination of this period of rapid ascent came in the 2010-2011 season, when his defensive excellence proved instrumental in AC Milan's triumph in Serie A. His presence provided the bedrock upon which the team's attacking flair could flourish, a testament to his balanced contribution. He had not only overcome a life-threatening illness, but had transformed into one of the most reliable and respected defenders in European football, marking a professional breakthrough that few could have envisioned just a few years prior. His trajectory from a struggling patient in Russia to a Scudetto winner in Italy was a powerful affirmation of his enduring quality and unyielding resolve. Reflecting on this journey so far, one cannot help but be struck by the profound interplay between circumstance and character. The earliest foundations, laid amidst the vibrant, unyielding realities of a specific corner of the world, instilled a raw, intuitive understanding of collective effort and self-preservation. It was here, in the unstructured arenas of youth, that the initial contours of a formidable defensive mind began to take shape, learning to anticipate, to protect, and to command space with an almost primal instinct. This formative period, far removed from the polished stages of professional ambition, cultivated a quiet resilience, a deep-seated work ethic that would later become a defining hallmark. The very air of his upbringing seemed to imbue him with an understanding that true strength often emerges from the most challenging environments, a lesson that would prove invaluable. Then came the abrupt, chilling cessation. A period of profound vulnerability, far from the familiar rhythms of competition, tested the very essence of his being. It was a confrontation with an invisible adversary, an experience that threatened not merely a career, but a future. Yet, from this crucible of isolation and uncertainty, a remarkable transformation occurred. What might have been an insurmountable barrier became instead a catalyst. The enforced pause, the arduous path back from the brink, forged an inner core of steel. It was a visceral lesson in patience, in the meticulous rebuilding of strength, and in the unwavering belief in one's own capacity for recovery. This harrowing interlude, stripped of all external validation, imbued him with a heightened sense of purpose, a profound appreciation for every breath taken on the pitch. The subsequent re-entry into the professional sphere was less a simple return and more a grand reaffirmation. He emerged not just physically restored, but profoundly refined, possessing a clarity of vision born from adversity. This phase saw him not merely playing, but orchestrating, his presence radiating a calm authority that elevated those around him. The initial success on home soil was a powerful vindication, demonstrating that the quiet tenacity cultivated in his youth had matured into a formidable professional competence. This was followed by a crucial transition to a more demanding, tactically intricate environment across continents. Here, the challenge was not merely to perform, but to adapt, to absorb new philosophies, and to seamlessly integrate into a defensive tradition revered for its rigor. His rapid assimilation and subsequent dominance in this new landscape underscored an extraordinary intellectual agility, proving that his understanding of the game transcended cultural and stylistic boundaries. He became, in essence, a strategic pivot, lending an indispensable solidity that allowed his teams to flourish offensively. The trajectory from these initial struggles to consistent eminence illustrates a narrative arc rarely seen in the demanding world of elite sport. It speaks to a unique blend of innate talent honed by relentless application and a quiet, almost understated form of leadership that inspires through unwavering example rather than overt pronouncements. His journey became a living testament to the idea that true influence isn't just about explosive moments, but about sustained excellence, about making the complex seem effortless, and about consistently providing the bedrock upon which collective ambitions can be built. As the years unfolded and the landscape of the sport continuously shifted, his ability to maintain a world-class standard, to defy the conventional timelines of athletic decline, became a phenomenon in itself. It was as if every challenge faced, every lesson learned, added another layer of protective wisdom, making him not just a defender, but a master craftsman of his art. What truly distinguishes this enduring presence is the way in which every chapter, every obstacle overcome, every triumph secured, converges towards a singular, defining moment. The very essence of his unwavering quality, born from the depths of personal struggle and refined through years of elite competition, positioned him perfectly for the ultimate test. It was a journey of patient accumulation, of relentless self-improvement, culminating in a profound convergence of experience and opportunity. As we pivot towards the final reflection, consider how this long, intricate weave of dedication, resilience, and quiet mastery prepared him for the most coveted stage, a stage where dreams are either realized or deferred. The story, in its profound simplicity, reminds us that the greatest victories are often the ones longest fought for, the ones earned through an unyielding commitment to both the craft and the self. On that momentous night in Porto, as the final whistle pierced the air and the roar of victory erupted, the image of Thiago Silva, 36 years old, embracing the Champions League trophy, transcended mere athletic achievement. It was a tableau of vindication, a powerful testament to a journey that had defied conventional narratives of triumph. This victory was not simply the culmination of a season. It was the earned reward for every lung-searing breath taken during recovery, every quiet moment of doubt overcome, every tactical instruction perfectly executed across a career spanning 2 decades. The trophy, gleaming under the stadium lights, mirrored the enduring shine of a spirit that had refused to be extinguished by an early life-threatening illness. His story, from the dusty pitches of Rio to the pinnacle of European club football, is a profound meditation on perseverance. He was not born into privilege, nor did his path follow a smooth, upward trajectory. Instead, it was marked by a harrowing confrontation with mortality, a period of forced isolation that could have ended his dream prematurely. Yet, it was precisely this crucible of adversity that refined his resolve, sharpening his focus and imbuing him with an unparalleled appreciation for every moment on the pitch. This experience of confronting the fragility of life transformed him, making him not just a gifted athlete, but a warrior of the spirit, a man whose quiet strength resonated far beyond his physical capabilities. The moniker, the Brazilian Wall, became more than just a description of his defensive prowess. It evolved into a symbol of his unwavering reliability, his unyielding presence, and his almost architectural ability to construct an impenetrable barrier. His mastery was not merely about brute force or explosive speed, though he possessed both. It was rooted in an extraordinary tactical intelligence, an innate understanding of space and time, and a profound sense of anticipation. He read the game like a grandmaster, always several moves ahead, orchestrating his defensive line with a quiet authority that inspired confidence in his teammates and frustration in his opponents. This mental acuity, honed through years of meticulous study and disciplined application, allowed him to maintain an elite standard long after many of his peers had faded. His legacy extends beyond the trophies and the individual accolades. He became a reference point for a generation of defenders, a living embodiment of how longevity, leadership, and consistent quality can be achieved through unwavering dedication and a profound commitment to one's craft. He demonstrated that true influence is not always loud or flamboyant, but often resides in the quiet, consistent execution of fundamental excellence. He inspired through example, through his composure under pressure, and through his unshakable belief in the collective. His journey underscores that true success is not merely about reaching a destination, but about the character forged in the journey itself, the lessons learned from every setback, and the resilience cultivated through every challenge. In the grand tapestry of sporting narratives, Thiago Silva's story stands as a beacon of human potential. It reminds us that setbacks are not endpoints, but often the very forge where greatness is tempered. His triumph, particularly in the twilight of his career, offers a powerful message that with unwavering belief, meticulous preparation, and an indomitable spirit, one can defy expectations, overcome the seemingly insurmountable, and achieve profound success even when the odds appear stacked against them. His enduring presence on the global stage, a testament to his unique blend of skill and fortitude, invites us to reflect on our own capacities for resilience and the quiet power of simply refusing to give up. The true practice, for all of us, begins now, in applying those very lessons to our own lives, building our own walls of resilience against whatever challenges may arise.